Hello, everybody, and welcome to GPAT Channel 5, The Wave, as we continue our downtown series here as part of the Our Town series here on Channel 5. Alex Warner, along with videographer Nick Schmidt. Today we've come up on the corner of Broadway and 4th Street to the A&B Coffee and Cake Company. Did I say that correctly? I think I did. And with us is the B part of A&B, and this is Betsy Warden. Betsy, let's talk just a little bit. Now, your husband Aaron's not going to be able to be with us here today. Let's talk a little bit about your background and Aaron's as well.
Sure. Aaron and I are both college graduates. He graduated from Wright State with a financial services degree, and I graduated from Ball State University with a political science and legal assistance degree. So Mom is really proud that we now own a coffee shop and that I bake all day long. But she does understand that it's all about what makes you happy, not about the dollar.
Yeah. And might mention, too, both of you Greenville graduates, Greenville natives.
Yes, both of us are born and raised in Greenville. We are now raising our 3 small boys here in town and many generations back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's talk just a second about how in the world did you become interested in this? Like you say, poli-sci major, and of course, Aaron for quite a few years was involved in financial investing and so forth. So you said it makes you happy, but what brought this all about?
Well, we really just got to talking about what was good for our family, and we were in the business world, going to the desk job every day, which is wonderful. We enjoyed what we did. We enjoyed the people, but yet there was something lacking. And we thought, what is a different service way that we can get to the people of the community? And I had been baking cakes in the home for about 10 years. And when son number 3 came along, all of a sudden I had 6 hands that wanted to help. And that didn't help much at all. So we started talking about, okay, well, let's find a place to go uptown that both of us could be involved in and have a cake business, get visual. We knew that Darke County was not going to support just a cake store alone, so we needed a daily draw. And we started looking at different coffee ideas. We need something that brings the customer in daily. We did our research. We went to several different roasters. We finally found one, Crimson Cup, out of Columbus, that we are not a franchise. We are a standalone company, but we're allowed to then serve their product. And so we really just said, okay, we talked to our parents and said, we'll quit our well-paying jobs, we'll cash in our retirement, and we are going to go into business together.
Okay. Well, how'd this all come about as far as choosing this particular location here in downtown?
This location was a godsend. We had looked for 3 to 4 years about having a place downtown, and finally, just the right timing, the right people came together, and he said, this is it. And so we talked with Ted Abney, the owner of the building, and he was very wonderful about letting us come in, and Aaron did 90% of the deconstruction and reconstruction. We had family here all hours of the evening, and so we were very happy with our location.
Yeah, you've created a great atmosphere here, too. If you folks haven't been in here, just the architecture alone and then the way that Aaron and Betsy put this together, it's just a real welcoming type of atmosphere. And you have people that come in, and I mean, now we've got several of your customers, they come in, they do work, they set little meetings and so forth, right? And that's what you're after, right?
Yes, we are after the personal experience. So we do have several groups that come in and host meetings. We have church groups, we have Bible studies, we have people that meet after school, just teenagers, whatever it takes to get someone in just to share a cup of coffee so that they have that time away from the phone, away from the iPad, that they're connecting. And that's what we're all about. Yes.
Now, how did you get started? You said you did this for 10 years out of your home before you got, Betsy was a great accompanist, tremendous piano player for the high school choirs, and her father was quite a talented musician too. How did you get into baking though?
Well, my mother played as well, so we came from a very musical family, and she would always allow me to bake at home. And so my nickname from Ron, my stepfather, was Betsy Crocker. And so we just kind of took that. I always baked for everyone, Christmas holidays, the neighborhood kids, we always had chocolate chip cookies. And I just started fiddling with it more at home. The first son turned 1, and I said, I'm going to do his birthday cake. And I did the little star pattern that everybody starts out with. And then my father-in-law turned 60, and I said, let me do your cake. And we threw this great party, and from there we booked our first wedding, and it just took off from there.
Did you start with a lot of cupcakes too? I'm trying to remember, cupcakes and cakes were your specialties. You don't do pies or any pastries, do you?
We do not do pies. We do pastries during the day, muffins, cookies. We'll do brownies here on counter. All of the cakes and cupcakes are special order, so that way you get exactly what you were looking for. We do not have counter cakes.
Okay.
So we're not the larger brand stores that you can just come in and pick up a vanilla or chocolate cake. It's more specialty items.
I'm almost afraid to ask this question. You don't let Aaron do any of the baking, do you?
Aaron prefers not to bake.
And your customers probably prefer that too.
You can do a mean chocolate chip cookie, and that's probably about as far as I'll go. Yes, most of my thing is visual, and I don't follow the recipe anymore, so it's hard to teach someone, okay, this is make me a batch of cookies, because I don't really do it the way it might be written, and I'm constantly eyeballing it and say, yep, they're perfect, get them out. So he does wonderful with the customers on counter. He's perfect at the cappuccinos and the lattes and providing that cup of coffee. So I let him take the lead out here. Yes, definitely. Yes. Okay. He's an excellent cook, though. I will let him cook at home, and he does fantastic there.
Don't trust him with the public.
Just not the baking, yeah.
Well, we're going to come back and take a look at some of the cappuccinos and other things they offer here at A&B, along with Betsy Ward. Once again, you're watching the Main Street Greenville series here on the Wave, Channel 5, and we'll be back in just a moment. Back here at the A&B Coffee Shop on the corner of 4th and Broadway, and I got a chance to come behind the counter. Not many people get a chance to come back here where the real work takes place. And Betsy, let's talk just a little bit about some of the different drinks that you offer and things of that nature.
Sure. Every coffee drink, espresso drink, starts with either a hot shot of espresso, or we specifically brew cold brewed espresso, which will make or break your frozen blended drink. Your cold brewed espresso, we actually brew a vat of cold ground coffee, and then it sits for 24 hours, and you get a much smoother tasting frozen blended drink rather than having it come from the hot machine and poured over ice that shocks the coffee and changes the flavor of your drink. So everything starts with your espresso. If you're doing hot, frozen blended, or poured over ice, add a little bit of milk, ice, or any flavorings, and then you go from there. So your initial question to someone is if you would like it hot, frozen blended, or over ice. That kind of tells you which station you're going to go to. Are you going to come over here and work on this machine? Are you going to go to the blenders? Or are you just going to have an over ice option?
This is quite a machine. And before we talk about the machine, you said you get your coffee from where?
Crimson Cup is our roaster out of Columbus.
Okay.
They actually have several shops. They have one downtown Columbus and then on the Ohio State campus. So it's a local roaster, but they are now branching out. And they provided a versatile bean. So
a versatile bean?
Versatile bean. Okay. Our bean is actually Armando's blend. He's a 5-bean medium roast, and we use him for our espresso, our drip coffee, and our cold brewed espresso as well.
So then the flavors come when you add to that, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. We do not brew a flavored coffee. And a lot of people ask why. Why would you not have 5 different flavored coffees brewed in a day? Well, number one is we don't like to waste anything. And you might come in and want a hazelnut flavored coffee, and then I might have 5 customers that want a vanilla flavored coffee, and then my Highlander grog, as Dark County is notoriously known for, is going to go to waste.
What is a Highlander grog? Because, you know, I'm not a coffee connoisseur, but I know when I drive out past the Greenville Inn, on the sign at the gas station out there, it says Highlander grog. What is Highlander grog?
Highlander grog is actually a mix. They're going to take their bean, and they are going to flavor it before they roast it. Okay. So they're doing the same thing that we do with an espresso or a drip coffee, and then we add flavor here. It's just they've done it in the roasting process. Has a little bit of butterscotch, caramel, hazelnut, and vanilla.
Yeah, because when I think of grog, I think of like sailors back in the 16th century. You know, they threw rum and everything, and that was grog. So I saw that, and I thought, why don't they have a liquor license out there? Which reminds me, you don't have any alcoholic mixtures that you put in with your coffee.
No, no, we are not legally allowed to sell you alcohol.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this machine. What is it? Says a Nuevo Simonelli or something like that. So this is a what?
This is our espresso machine. So it is a double pull, so we can actually have 4 shots going at one time. 1 shot of espresso is about 3 ounces.
Wow, that gives you that much kick in that little pitcher.
Yes, yes. And your goal is, this is an older shot from an earlier customer, your goal is to have a nice caramel colored crema. That is the flavor of the bean, that is the oil of the bean. If you can have that in a thick body standing up, you've poured the perfect shot. Okay. This machine is all timed when it's set up to have the right amount of water come through your puck, your hockey puck.
We're learning all sorts of terminology here, aren't we?
Right. So this is actually your espresso hockey puck.
Oh, really?
So when you pull your shot, you're going to pull your loose grounds into your pour, and then as you tamp it, the perfect amount of pressure, which is 35 pounds of pressure, is going to form this puck. Your water drips through that at the perfect rate, and the perfect shot is between 21 and 27 seconds. Wow. You will have the perfect shot of espresso.
Okay. And neither you or Aaron were chemistry majors in college, right?
No, certainly not.
How did you learn all this? I mean, you both came in. Did you have any background at all in the coffee industry? I mean, you just picked it up as you went, or did you have to go through some training, or what? We
did do some formal training. My go-to coffee at that point was a Mountain Dew. I did not drink coffee. Aaron did. You know, he would go to the Starbucks and the places around that we would visit. He loved Winans, you know, because that's what was available at the time. We did have 3 days of solid training where Crimson Cup brought in a trainer to help us get up and running. Okay. And then they offer wonderful support anytime we need them, free of charge.
Okay, because I gosh, you started to get into a lot of complicated things here that you know, most people out there have no idea what all's involved in this. Let's talk about some of these other drinks up here. Let's talk about the frozen blended, for example. You got all sorts of different things under there. Plus, we want to talk about the fruit smoothies.
Sure. Our frozen blended drinks, as we talked about earlier, start with our cold brewed espresso, add a little bit of milk, polar powder, flavorings. A popular one is our salted caramel frozen blended mocha. It's very tasty, wonderful afternoon treat. We also offer a pumpkin caramel pecan latte. He's available all year long because we figured out why just keep it seasonal. When it's 80 degrees outside, you want a frozen blended drink.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So.
And then up here we've got the mochas and the lattes and the different espressos. Also, I see that you carry some teas.
We do carry tea. We have several organic hot teas, and then we brew an organic green and an organic black tea for iced tea, and you can add flavoring to that as well. We have sweet fruit flavorings that you can shake up a tea for there. Every drink is built, you need to know if you want chocolate or you don't want chocolate, or you want flavoring. It's all a process and just a step through thing. Mocha, if you ask for a mocha, you're getting a drink with chocolate. A latte, we try to tell our customers, we like to educate them, that's a lot of milk. Latte, a lot of milk. Okay, so you've got your L's in there. Your cappuccino that's a science experiment in itself. It's a half cup of foamed milk, half a cup of steamed milk. So you actually get half a cup of air. You're going to boost your espresso flavor. And the problems with so many different coffee shops, you know, Starbucks has their own language of what they call their drinks, and then Speedway, you can go get a cappuccino that's in a machine that you're pulling a lever. Okay. Well, if you look at the diagram, you can't store foam. So that cappuccino that you're getting at a gas station, without mentioning names, is truly a latte. So once we find out what do you like to drink, we can figure out what you want us to make you.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
We stand behind our drinks. We've not had anyone come back and say they did not enjoy the drink. And
that's some record, as many people as you have come through.
Yes, in 4 years, because we don't want you just to order a drink. We want to know how you like it, how you drink your normal coffee, and we will make it to your specification. If you don't care for it, we will trade it out immediately.
Wow. Oh, that's a great. Hey, you know, while I'm thinking about it, your store hours.
Yes. Typically, we run 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 to 2 on Saturdays. Always closed on Sunday. From the get-go, Sunday was our day to be with the boys. We found a loving church family that we attend on Saturday evenings. So that's a fitting end to our week, and then we always have Sunday with them. Right now.
You really put in the hours then, because if you open at 7, that means you're here before then. You don't do the entire shift. You and Aaron split it, and then do you have other help?
Aaron and I will split, and yes, we do the entire shift.
Wow.
Would I recommend owning your own small business to anyone out there? Not unless you're prepared to put in the 14, 16-hour days, 5 days a week, and then some on the weekend. It's not a 9-to-5 job where you shut it off and you walk out the door. At dinner, Aaron and I are regressing and saying, how did the day go? What could we have done better? What can we do for tomorrow? If we get a chance to have a date night out, it's business talk, unfortunately. But who would I rather spend my day with than my husband and my best friend?
How does that work? Because you have to take a break sometime, vacation-wise or otherwise. Does somebody run it, or you just shut the store down?
We have Angela, my stepsister, works some Saturdays, and we are training another friend of ours to come in. Our 13-year-old will be 14 this summer, so he's going to get trained on how to do some of the frozen blended drinks. So we are bringing more people on. We have always, when we needed a vacation, we just close, and our customers understand. They know that our family comes first, and will always come first, second to the business, and we're so thankful that the community supports us in that. Okay, yes, yes.
Well, I tell you, we're going to come back in just a minute, and we're going to talk about a few other things here. Glad you could join us again. This is the Main Street Greenville series on the Wave Channel 5, Greenville Public Access TV, and we'll be back in just a minute. Betsy, you folks have been here on the corner long enough now. I noticed that a little earlier, a young lady walks in, and you just said the usual what size, and you knew what she was going to drink. So a lot of regular clientele over the years then have been built up?
Yes, very much so. We're very blessed that Aaron and I can remember your drink. We'll see you out at Walmart or out shopping. We'll say, oh, that's a large A&B extra shot, skinny, no whip. But for the life of us, we cannot remember your name.
Yeah.
So we do pride ourselves in trying to know your favorite drink. And so that way, if you do have a spouse that comes in and says, you know what, my husband comes in, okay, show us a picture. Yes, we know exactly. It's a squirrely pig over ice, or, you know, we can just really nail it down. What I love about our regular customers is that we've built that bond and that connection. I can say, well, what did you do over the weekend? Did you have fun with your children? Did you guys enjoy the zoo?
Right.
So we've really created a presence where we have a larger family now, and that's really, I think, where we need to serve.
Now, if I didn't ask this question, people would get all over me out there. What's a squirrely pig?
A squirrely pig, that is a house favorite. It is actually a raspberry toasted marshmallow latte. And you can have him hot, frozen blended, or over ice.
Now, is that something you kind of came up with in-house and just said, hey, this might go, and it did?
It did very well. We used to have weekly specials, and every Monday at 6 a.m. when I would come in to get ready for the day, I would have to think of the weekly special. That's very difficult at 6 a.m. on a Monday morning. So one morning I thought, well, what do I have? I have some hazelnut, vanilla. No, we've done all that. And so I just mixed a couple together, and it turned out pink, and that's where it came from.
It became the squirrely pig.
Yes.
A lot of people come in, say, for the first time, and they take a look at everything you've got and all the choices. Do you kind of help, you say you ask kind of what they like, and then you kind of say, well, why don't you try this to get them started?
Absolutely. That's what we really enjoyed about Crimson Cup, because we looked at their menus, and oftentimes you walk into a coffee shop and there are all these different names like a squirrely pig, and you have no idea what's in them, how the drink is built. Crimson has a very simplified menu. You can start with a mocha and add any flavor. You can start with a latte and add any flavor. So a newbie would come in and we would say immediately, welcome. Thank you for visiting. That's a standard response. I like to have greetings to the people as soon as I hear the door ding, so that they know they do feel welcome here. And that's what it is all about. And then we ask, are you looking for something hot or cold? Because as I talked about the stations, that way you know which direction you're going and how you're going to build the drink.
Okay, and I see, you know, you had people in here, and we're right in between rushes, so we've lucked out on that. You've made such a nice atmosphere here. I mean, we've got the big easy couches, and you've got like the hutch here, and different things that way. That's kind of the atmosphere, again, you're trying to project.
Yes, we wanted you to be able to come and sit and stay for a while and maybe have a conversation with a friend or us. We're always willing to have a chat with you, especially my husband. He loves to chat. And so we wanted a warm, inviting experience. Yes.
Now, let's talk about, do you have any like special events? You have groups that come up here on a fairly regular basis, or can people rent this out for a few hours, or what all do you offer that way?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, last evening we did host a graduation party. So we do rent the entire space, and we have several options that you can have a barista behind the bar, where you can make it an open bar type situation, and the host will pick up the tab, or it can be a pay-as-you-go type thing, and you're welcome to bring in any items fully catered other than cake or coffee or anything that our bakery could provide for you. Yes, we do host special events a great deal.
And then people can come in and special order something if they give you enough notice, say, hey, I need this, I need that, I need 3 dozen cupcakes. They can do all these things.
Absolutely, yes. We do cookies we did a celebration of life a couple of weekends ago. We're doing a golf outing here in a couple of weeks. We have 4 cakes going out this weekend, several of them graduation. We're typically a month booked in advance, so we do apologize that if you wake up and remember it's your 40th anniversary, we may not be able to do a 3-tiered replica cake for you. We might be able to do some cupcakes or squeeze in a cookie or 2, but typically we are about a month booked out.
Okay. Now, how do you also advertise? Because, we've got your hours and everything. Also, a phone number.
We do have a phone. It's 937-459-5720. We do encourage you to come in and talk with us face-to-face, as if we have a customer on the counter, we do ignore the phone. I prefer face-to-face contact, and you're more important than the person phoning at that time. We do have a page on Facebook, so you can reach us through there, and we do instant messaging that way as well.
Do you have a website as well or not?
We do not have a website. We saw it as a duplication of services right now with Facebook, and you can email through that, and our website would just send you to the Facebook page as well, so we had to reduce some time there, because keeping up Facebook is a full-time job all on its own. We do prefer the free advertising, and the best advertising is word of mouth. So oftentimes I'll write a little thank you on the cup or have a nice day just along the side. And if you walk out of here with a smile, then we've done our job.
And something's going to make me smile, and I forgot to do this. We need Joe in a box. We're going to come back in just a minute, wrap things up, because we want to show you Joe in the box here on the Wave Channel 5. As we wrap things up here at A&B on the corner of 4th and Broadway, and we have Betsy Ward, the B part, and her husband Aaron, of course. We want to talk about this because this is kind of unique, and this is called Joe in a Box. And so let's explain what Joe in the Box is.
Joe in the Box is an alternative to taking coffee with you in bulk. So rather than us preparing a carafe of coffee that has a glass insert that you have to take with you and then pray that you don't break before you return it back to us, this is a recyclable product, and you can put coffee, tea, hot or cold. You can do chai tea. We can brew directly in this container. It has an insulated bag inside. It will stay hot for about 4 hours, fresh for about 2. So these are perfect for meetings. We do school meetings, school board meetings. We've done the teacher appreciation meetings, golf outings. We'll take these. Anytime you need something to be on the go that you don't want to have to worry about bringing back in return.
How many cups does this hold, for example?
This will actually do 8 to 10 12-ounce of our red cups. It depends on how full you're filling them, and if you're doing cream and sugar and you're having a little coffee with a lot of cream. Or if you use your standard typical 8-ounce styrofoam cup, you can get 12 to 15 cups out of here.
Well, I think that's a great idea. Did you come up with that, or how did you find out about this?
We certainly did not. This is, a standard product that coffee shops are using throughout the nation, and then Crimson just offers this as an additional supply. So it's just something added to the customer service here.
And that's what it's all about, customer service, right?
That is exactly what we are about, yes. And, as being small business owners, it is hard to hire people from the outside that maybe they don't have the same last name or they don't have a family connection, because my experience with you is personal and I want you to return, and it's not just a high school kid behind the counter that says, oh, you paid my paycheck for the day. That's not what we're about here. Your smile means more to us than your dollar, or you going out and saying, oh, that was the best cup of coffee, which I know you will go out and portray, but your return is equally as important.
Well, this has been Betsy Crocker Ward. I love that, Betsy Crocker. Anyhow, her husband Aaron was unable to be with us today, but the owners of A&B Coffee and Cake Company up here on 4th Street and Broadway. And thanks so much for your time. This is really an interesting show, and we'll be back in the near future with the next episode of the Main Street Greenville series of Our Town here on the Wave Channel 5. On behalf of Nick Schmidt, our videographer, I'm Alex Warner. Goodbye, everybody.